Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by thegaminggang.com. How amazing is that? So welcome aboard. If this is your first time visiting, kick back, put up your feet, relax. We are not practicing rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. Plus, I will unbox and take a first look at Shamans, which is from Studio H Games. It's going to be released in North America through Hachette Games. So we're going to be taking a peek at this in just a bit. If you're a longtime visitor, by all means, thanks for showing up again. Thanks for hanging out with me. Always appreciate it. Tonight is Monday, April 5th, 2021. This is live stream number 642. Of course, do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as, I know I should have had it over here, my upcoming review of World Fair 1893. This is from Wehrlegig Games Studios. This is the special Amazon edition. You can only get it on Amazon. So stay tuned for that. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, there is chat available. This is a live stream, so that means there's chat. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe get a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So far, we've got the Madman. Yes, the Motor City Madman himself is in chat. He's first out the gate, followed by a grade A. We got John Vogel and Indigo Dragon, who I believe is a first-time visitor. Welcome aboard. I see Beat Cafe is with us as well tonight. So we're off and running with a pretty good chat. So Indigo Dragon is asking if World's Fair is an RPG book. No, it is a board game. It is a board game from Wehrlegig Games Studios, and each of the players is trying to be like an exhibitor, to be the finest exhibitor at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, otherwise known as the Columbia Exposition. But H.H. Holmes does not make any appearances in the game. Thank goodness. So John Vogel says, asking if we'd like cubes updates. I'm not sure what that would mean. I don't know. I have no idea. Clint Gibson's joining us. Good to see you, Clint. Welcome. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. If you celebrate Easter, hope you enjoyed your Sunday holiday. So we got to have dinner last night. We got to get together with my brother and sister-in-law and my mom, and of course my dad was with, and my niece and nephew. So very cool, very cool. So Cubs update. No Cubs updates, folks. Don't forget. I don't want to know what the score is because I watch the Cubs games after I do the stream. So I just pick it up from the beginning. But I know I think first pitch was like 6:40. I think they were starting tonight's game like a half hour early. Yes, I had almost worn my Cubs hat. One of my many Cubs hats. This is my newest Cubs hat. And I thought, I think the last two screenshots, the thumbnails for the stream, have me in a Cubs hat. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to do a third one in a row as Gary Clarkson pops in. Yes, we've got Baylor and Gonzaga playing tonight. Boy, that was some incredible last second shot. Oh, man. A lot of people are talking about that was one of the best college basketball games that they had ever seen. I unfortunately did not see all of it. I was actually watching baseball because I play a little daily fantasy sports. So, and opening day was very, well, okay, I don't want to say very profitable, but I did all right. I did okay. So, anyway. All right. So how about we jump on into the news because I've got a good mix for us tonight. First off, arriving next week, as far as I understand, from Bellwether Games is Lions of Lydia. Here's what I know. The ancient world is changing. The kingdom of Lydia has minted the world's first gold coin. Bartering and trading will soon be supplanted by coins as the dominant medium of exchange throughout civilization. Lions of Lydia is a bag management and engine building game about the dawn of currency. As an influential leader, you'll send merchants out to barter for resources and increase your land holdings. When the nobles arrive, they bring their Lydian lion coins into play, which have unparalleled buying power. To achieve victory, you must manage the merchants in your bag and complement their abilities with the cards in your tableau. Traditional merchants produce basic resources, which are necessary to build your engine. But if you fail to convert your resources into coins, you will not be able to buy the most valuable cards. Thus, noble Lydian merchants and their golden lion coins are the keys to success. When enough properties are developed, the game ends and a winner is declared. Will you draft the best merchants to achieve your goals? Will you be the first to gain the most valuable properties? Will you master the new golden currency, the Lions of Lydia? This game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in 30 to 60 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $40 when it hits stores. Looks kind of interesting. I like the look of this, the art style. It's got some pop to it. Definitely digging that. I kind of like ancient history. So I like engine building games too. So I thought I'd share this because this looked pretty interesting. Definitely looked unique. And once again, I do like the art style. I'll let the images play through here a little bit to give you another peek at them. Flaming Huron has joined us in chat. Both of our chat moderators are with us tonight. Both Flaming Huron and the Madman are with us. All right, let's move along because currently up on Kickstarter is a revised edition of John Company from Wehrlegig Games. Here's the skinny. Chart the rise and fall of the East India Company in this cutting negotiation game about high society at the dawn of the British Empire. Created by Cole Wehrle, the award-winning designer of Roots and Pax Pamir, John Company, second edition, is a deep and thoughtful design from a master builder of historical games. John Company is the second game in our series on the British Empire. In our previous game, Pax Pamir, Players attempted to construct a new future for a land caught between two global rivals. This game presented agents of empire as hapless interlopers caught up in a struggle that they could barely understand. John Company why is this my teleprompter jumping around, which I don't want it to do? All right. In John Company, players move deep into the bowels of empire and take the roles of ambitious families out to make a name for themselves at the dawn of the British Empire. Though often upsetting, this vantage point offers a better understanding of how empires work in practice. Empire building is one of the most common themes in game design, but the vast majority of games get the fundamentals completely wrong. Empires are certainly not heroic enterprises, but they are also not comic book villains masterminding global domination. Instead, empires are something far more insidious. They are something that happens in aggregate, composed of 1,000 little choices and many individuals with their own interests and ambitions. John Company thrusts players into those 1,000 little choices. As matriarchs and patriarchs of ambitious British families in the 18th and 19th century, players guide their children to positions of respectability. To do this, they will often cajole for positions of power and prestige within the British East India Company. John Company offers players a new understanding of British history in the 18th and 19th century that reflects contemporary scholarship on the subject and extensive research into primary documents. John Company attempts to put the critical events of that time in their proper context and show how the imperial experience transformed the domestic culture of Britain. The East India Company lurked behind every building of a textile mill and every bit of wealth in a Jane Austen novel. John Company is an uncompromising portrait of the people who made the company and the British Empire what it was. It is as frank as it is cutting in its satire. Accordingly, the game wrestles with many of the key themes of imperialism and globalization in the 18th and 19th centuries, and how those developments were felt domestically. As such, this game might not be suitable for all players. Please make sure everyone in your group consents to this exploration before playing. There is a short Kickstarter video. It's just a touch over a minute. So let's give it a quick peek.
In the 18th century, the countryside of England was changing. Vast manors were being constructed and restored. Lavish parties were being thrown where petty dramas and personal ambitions were put on display. Behind this newly minted wealth lurked the British East India Company, a sprawling trade monopoly that would shake the foundations of the world. In India, the company waged a state-sponsored war. Vast empires fell into ruin. Profits rose. With every import coming from India, the company grew in power. Behind the closed doors of the company, its shareholders were engaged in a fearsome game of snakes and ladders, where players freely traded their ill-gotten fortunes for entry into high society. Many promises were made, and many broken. From the award-winning designer of Root and Pax Pamir comes a new negotiation game about the rise and fall of the British East India Company.
John Company is over 800% funded. Might be even past that. This was earlier today. I jotted that down. You can reserve a copy of the game for an $80 pledge through April 20th with an expected delivery of March of next year. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, yes, Agreed is mentioning it is the same company who did PAX Premier or Premier. I don't know how it's pronounced. I would take a guess it's Premier or something along those lines. Yes, I heard that was a very good game. This is a second edition, so this game was already out, and it looks like they're really looking at kind of upping the unique look of this game. So they've got little almost like Oh my gosh, what are they considered, like silhouettes? The little like jewelry with the like the family portrait of the person on it. We're looking at right there, the yellow and the blue, as opposed to cubes. They've changed the look of the game board a bit as well, from what I can see. I got to admit, I have not played anything from Wehrlegig Games. I've actually never played anything from Letter Games either. So, which is where this designer is from. So, I don't know. I don't know. So there is some discussion in chat about this looking pretty heady. Says a grade A. Beat Cafe says they have backed this Kickstarter, that they are in on this already. Sweet. Very cool. All right, let's move on to our next news piece, because there is a new faction starter box that's coming out next month for Malifaux 3E. And here's what Wyrd Games has to say about the Explorers Society box. In the search of greatness in the vast unknown, the Explorers Society has masqueraded under the guise of curious adventurers for the better part of a decade. Recently, the keys to the society have been passed on to someone far more interested and conniving than its founder. With new leadership comes new ambitions. The rapid expansion has drawn attention from every corner of Malifaux. Each new discovery is a victory for the society, and to the victor go the spoils. The Explorer Society starter box is the perfect jumping off point for a player ready to make the leap into Malifaux 3rd Edition. Containing everything needed to get started as soon as possible, this box contains 4 pre-assembled models, a fate deck, general upgrades, markers, and a measuring widget. I don't know what the measuring widget is for Malifaux, but you can get your hands on this new starter box, which will carry an MSRP of $45 when it arrives in May. So I have always liked the look of Wyrd miniatures, which brings me to the thought of, they don't seem to know what they want to call their company. They refer to it as Wyrd Games. Other times they refer to themselves as Wyrd Miniatures. Their web address is wyrdgames.net. Well, wyrd-games.net. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, it says Wyrd Miniatures. I think it's LLC. So it's like, so you Wyrd Games, Wyrd Miniatures? It's just weird. But like I said, I've always liked the look of the not only the Malifaux, but there were other games. I don't know how. I guess I'd say I'm not so sure how well supported they are anymore. But I remember there was the one which had like the dolls. They were almost like, I think it was Puppet Wars is what it was called. Those looked really cool. Thought those were very, very cool. Anyway, so Indigo Dragon says, if I didn't have to glue and paint those miniatures, I'd be all over it. Well, with this set, you don't have to glue them. They're already pre-assembled. So they might just be one solid piece anyway. But yeah, so, you know, if you're kind of looking into maybe jumping on board Malifaux, or even just looking for some kind of cool looking miniatures, by all means, check this out. All right, let's move on to some role-playing game news, because now available in print and PDF is the 2nd edition of For Coin und Blood. Or I guess I could say For Coin and Blood, from Gallant Knight Games. Here's the details. For Coin and Blood is a classically inspired fantasy role-playing game which takes the direction of playing the scum and villains you normally fight in most fantasy campaigns. Playing assassins, cult leaders, blackguards, and more, For Coin and Blood is a different look at the other side of the coin of fantasy role-playing games. Inspired by the writings of authors such as Kate Elliott, Joe Abercrombie, Oh, yeah, Joe Abercrombie. Sarah Monte, Glenn Cook, Anna Smith Spark, Scott Lynch, and more. For Coin and Blood is dark fantasy role-playing about anti-heroes, thieves, and assassins rooted in the darkest recess of mankind's depredations. For Coin and Blood makes no pretenses about what it asks you to be. You're the villains that other campaigns fight. You're the cult leaders, assassins, fallen nobles, murderers, mercenaries, necromancers, and thugs. Why a second edition? Well, there's a lot of reasons. The first edition was our first classic adventure game, inspired by the old fantasy RPGs of the 70s and 80s. But there were a few places we felt we could improve it after a few years. New content, clearer rules, smoother mechanics. It was Alan's first dive into that style of game design, and frankly, this new edition is a lot better. The Alan being discussed is of Gallant Knight Games. Some of the things that are included are an improved and clarified skill test resolution, revised attribute names or attribute names, however you like to pronounce it, and descriptions to fit the theme better. 4 new classes. The Diabolist, a cruel and dark demon summoner. The Executioner, a feared slayer of humanity. The Machiavellian, a scheming noble and plotter. And the Witch Hunter, slayer of mages and magic users. There's improved rules for hirelings, property, and more. Legacy experience points, so you can build your next character as you play. Poisons and firearms, as well as revised gear rules. There's rules for artifacts, corruption points, smuggling, investigations, journeys and travels, mass battles, light, increased enemy lists, including specific demons to summon and the packs they offer. Say full setting ripe for your adventures with maps. We've also included over 10 pages of art by Gur Kurti, which comes to something like 5 half pages, 4 new character illustrations, enemy art, 20 spot illustrations, and maps. A new cover by Daniel Gimbert, the cover from the Spanish translation, actually, of the game, and a new fiction piece from gaming author Marie Murdoch, and lots more. You can score this 162-page book through Drive-Thru RPG. If you want it in hardcover, it's $29.99. You can score it in softcover for $19.99, or just grab the PDF alone for $14.99. I have to say, I think the $19.99 for the softcover sounds like the best deal. So, not too shabby. So Indigo Dragon had mentioned Wyrd's RPGs are still supported. Yeah, Through the Breach. Yeah, I know that. They're always releasing, what do they call them? Penny Dreadfuls, their adventures. I don't think I've heard anything about like Puppet Wars. There were a few of the miniature games that they had, and they had very kind of bizarre designs. Cool, but they stood out. I mean, you know, they were pretty unusual. Like I said, I'm not sure. I think they're just really focused on Malifaux now. Then again, I could be absolutely wrong because I really don't have any connection with Wyrd. So, all right, my final news piece. In publishing, which of course is a division of N-World, has released a collection of one-page adventures for 5e. Here's the dope. Need a quick, fun, one-shot adventure in a pinch? No time to prep? You've come to the right place. These 25 adventures for D&D 5th edition are each presented on a single page and are designed for a single session of gameplay, collected together in a full-color soft-cover book. These 25 adventures are each presented on a single page. They're designed for a single session of gameplay. There's a gnome farmer who infects a village's water supply with a love potion. Infighting bullywug tribes and elemental totems cause an expanding desert. Christmas presents stolen by a tribe of goblins must be recovered. Undead dinosaurs in a sunken city seek to reclaim their lost lands. Of the 25 adventures, there are 2 level 1, 1 level 2, 4 level 3, 3 level 4, 6 level 5, 2 level 6, 2 level 9, and 1 level 14. Right now, you can score the softcover book, which includes the PDF, for $9.99. You can grab the PDF alone for $9.99. Cool. And publishing they do some pretty good stuff. They do some good work. So I got to be honest though, I don't know how keen I am on like one-page adventures. And yes, I get it. I know there are a lot of people out there like, oh yeah, I don't have time for prep and things like that. And I get it. I completely understand that. But I also point out all the time that if you're not prepping for your role-playing games, I don't think the sessions are as good. I really don't. It's just me, just my thoughts. Just like I say it all the time, like communal horror games, I don't see how those can be a success if it's just it's all off this by the seat of our pants. We've got nothing, just pulling this out of the air or somewhere else. Don't know. Melwinius from York has arrived. Good deal. Great A's like undead dinosaurs. Flaming Huron says, to me, that involves more prep or at least as much work. Yeah, a lot of times. I got to say, there's a lot of junk out there. There's like tons and tons of crappy adventures out there on Drive-Thru RPG and Storyteller Vault and DM's Guild. There's good stuff too, don't get me wrong, but those of you out there who are like computer game players might remember the term shovelware. We have quite a bit of that too in the role-playing game industry, as far as PDFs at least. All right, Owl has arrived and joined us. Good to see you. Thanks for swinging on in. All right, so I am going to be taking a look at Shamans in just a moment. First, did want to mention I watched, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, I watched Godzilla vs. Kong. In fact, I saw that, I must say it was Thursday. Maybe it was, or was it Wednesday night? Maybe it was Wednesday night. I think I watched it the first night it was out. And I didn't really mention anything on the show. I thought it was awful. Everybody's like, oh man, this is the best of the bunch. I thought the monster fights were very cool. But the rest of it was like, what? So I don't know. I don't know if anybody out there, in chat or, after the fact has watched it. I don't know what you thought of it. I don't know. I was like, the story didn't make much sense. There was just a lot of things about it. I was like, but like I said, I thought the monster battles were pretty cool. And I'm a Godzilla fan from way back. I have seen umpteen Godzilla movies. In fact, the Godzilla movies of the 90s that a lot of people have never seen, at least a lot of Americans haven't seen, they were actually pretty good. So is Gamora, or as some folks refer to him, Gamera. They did a couple of Gamora movies that were actually really well done too. So yes, and I had those. I had them dubbed. Or no, I'm sorry, I didn't have them dubbed. I had them subtitled. I had bought them. So Omanal said it delivered from mindless monster fights. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's like there was more than monster fights. That was another thing. I didn't think there was enough monster fights. So, of course, I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he's like, well, I thought it was really good. What do you expect? 2 hours of monsters fighting? I'm like, no. But the one monster they introduced towards the end of the film, it was like Why did you bother? It's like, geez. Anyway, yes, I know. I'm probably in the minority about this, but what can I tell you? All right, so we're going to be looking at Shamans from Studio H and Hachette Games. But if you are watching after the fact, if you are not watching live, this is about the time where you're going to get hit with an ad. So kick back, and I'll be right back. Ta-da! There we go. That was easy enough. All right. So today I am going to be taking a look at Shamans, which is from Studio H Games, and it's going to be released in North America through Hachette Games. It's designed by Cedric Chabositz. I'm sure I came nowhere close to pronouncing that correctly. With artwork provided by Maud Chamel. The game is for 3 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 40 minutes. And I believe it's going to carry an MSRP of approximately $24.99 when it hits stores. I'm not positive on that. I am only going based on exchange rate from the euro. So that's just kind of a guess. All right. So there is some discussion. See, I was trying not to. So I'm like, I was trying not to spoil anything, but I guess people are just spoiling it in chat anyway. I wasn't trying to spoil Godzilla versus Kong for anybody. All right. Anyway, so here's something I find unusual. We're going to jump into Shamans in a sec. So Studio H Games, I couldn't find a website for. Now, I do believe they are a French game company. I'm 99.9% positive they are out of France. Hachette Games has been releasing games from Gigamic, now Studio H. I think there's one or two other companies that they've made deals with to release them here in the U.S., but Hachette Games doesn't really have their own website set up either. I'm like, what's going on with this? All right, Indigo Dragon's pointing out that Goodman Games is doing a Dying Earth setting for Dungeon Crawl Classics. I think it's out there. I think that's out. I think that just came out, or it's coming soon. Hey, there we go. So Hachette Board Games has arrived and hanging out. I'm not sure who it would be from Hachette. I don't know if it's Nikki or if it's somebody else. So we got an MSRP of $19.99. Cool. Very cool. So we've got that. We know that. So maybe our friend from Hachette will let us know what's the best website for us to use, because I am very surprised that there is not a dedicated web address for Hachette. Oh, it's Nikki. Howdy, Nikki. Hello. Welcome. Anyway, so Flaming Huron, take it back. Too many spoilers. Yes, apparently Godzilla and King Kong are in the movie. All right. Anyway, so I just have Hachette.com is what I'm using here as the web address. All right, so let's swing on over to the other camera. Ka-ching, because here we have Shamans. I got to tell you, it looks like this art style is pretty cool. I'm very intrigued. So Nikki says that they are working on a website. I figured you were. It would be very strange not to have websites dedicated to the board gaming division of Hachette. But I've seen bizarre stuff before, so you never know. All right, you are a shaman. Since the dawn of time, you've been protecting the spirit worlds from the threat of the shadows. Your mission has never been more perilous. Before the moon is at its zenith, you must restore balance to the different worlds to keep the universe from falling into chaos. Damn you, chaos. But what if the danger comes from within your own ranks? Some shamans corrupted by the shadows are secretly working against the balance. Perhaps you are one of them? When the time comes, will you be able to read through the schemes of your rivals and find yourself on the right side of this age-old struggle? Cool. All right. Let's pop this on open. So first off, let's take a look at the rules. Looks like very short. What are we looking at? Maybe 4 to 6 pages. Okay, so we've got the setup, showing us the components, a turn of play, resolving cards. It's the mask of truth. So we've got artifact tiles, we've got ritual tiles, eclipse tiles, or the eclipse tile. End of the round or the game. So you're going to play through to 8 victory points. So it looks like the game ends as soon as someone has a total of 8. And then it looks like we've got a bit of an example of play here with this right here. Cool. So we've got that. We also have, we got a few, well, I was going to say a few punch boards. I know we've got like a playing board, right? So we've got this board here. And I do believe we're going to have cards that are going to go down here. You're going to have cards that go up here as well. We have a cylinder, which I believe we're going to go back and forth on this track with that as well. Viper Dave has arrived in chat. Good to see you, Viper Dave. Very, very cool. So we've got that. We've got a deck of cards. Let's take a look at the punch board. Got a cool little tuck box. That's nice. And we have the silicone. Don't eat it, kids. It's not candy. Toss that on out. So, looks like these are very similar except for these here as well. Dual-sided. I know absolutely nothing about this game. Outside of what I read on the back of the box, that's it. So we're experiencing this for the first time. I got to say, I'm going to try to catch the light with this so you can get a better feel for how this kind of pops a little bit with the blue metallics. That's cool. I like that. All right. So let's take a look at the deck of cards. Quest Friend has arrived. Good to see you, Quest Friend. Welcome. Welcome to chat tonight. Hey, we're zipping along on tonight's show. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we've got these cards. And then the rest of these are all a single deck. So Nikki from Hachette says it is a hidden identity trick-taking game. Yeah, I kind of got the impression just from the back of the box talking about, ew, so are you one of the evil shamans who's been corrupted by the shadow? I had a feeling we probably had some hidden traitor mechanics or hidden roles. Oh, cool artwork. So I'm taking a guess that the 3 with the white backgrounds, those are our shamans who are fighting for the balance to keep the balance. And then these 2 black background shamans are probably the ones corrupted by shadow. Taking a stab. I know I'm not going too far out on a limb. Okay, let's see what we got here. Got different artwork here. Well, I gotta say, it's cool that we have different art. I mean, it doesn't vary a lot, but very easily could have just been, okay, well, we've got this blue. I don't know if they're runes or what these are considered. They could have just used just one image on these cards. So that is not the case. So we go 1 to 8. This reminds me of the video game Journey. If any of you out there have ever played that, there we go. We get the little character in the foreground there. I like that. So all of these seem to feature a shaman, it appears, using some of their magic possibly. So it looks like that's a shaman down there. Looks like that's one as well. So these are different phases of the moon there. I have to say, these cards have a very unique look to them. They definitely, as I take a look at chat, and Omanal is like, it's definitely unique looking. Yeah, I agree. Madman says they like the artwork. The color really pops. Yes, it is actually very cool. And I would take a guess you're probably losing a little bit of the jazz because of the camera. But yeah, these colors really do pop. Really nice. Excellent. All right. So, and I'm glad Nikki popped in here to clear up a few things, especially the MSRP, because I was not sure what the MSRP was going to be. So I just did a quick exchange rate calculation, and it would have been like $24.99. But hey, it's $19.99, so it's $5 less. All right, so we got the cool tuck box in the box right here, and we've got the cylinder, which is wood, and it looks like this looks like it's maybe laser printed on here. It's not a sticker, I can tell you that. So Nikki points out this is out now. You can get it. We got the shaman cards. We've got the 2 punch boards. We've got the little game board. We've got our, how many pages was this? Was this 6 or 8? Well, the reality is like not even 6 pages of rules. So we've got that. And that's what we find when we take everything from Shamans outside the box. All right. So, of course, I will have a review of Shamans in the near future. Do want to point out, as far as the games that are out there right now from Hachette Games, I have reviewed, oh my gosh, now off the top of my head, Dinner in Paris. Like, I stopped and I'm like, what was the name of that game where it's about the restaurants in Paris? This is what I'm thinking, right? Oh, yeah, Dinner in Paris. And we just took a look at Quetzal. Wasn't that last week? Sometimes I forget. These shows all kind of become just one long show. And we got to play it last night. Yeah, we actually got to play 3 games last night. So we've only played it once. I haven't played it enough to review it, but I am actually going to have an opportunity to play some more later this week. So Friday night, actually. So Indigo Dragon says that they want Shamans for the artwork. And Madman says, for 20 bucks, I think this is going on my game shelf soon and on my table shortly after. Sweet. Very, very cool. All right. So, as you know, it is available right now. Shamans is for 3 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 40 minutes, and carries the MSRP of $19.99. I will have to make an adjustment to the video information because I believe I've got $24.99 down on it, approximately. All righty. So, man, zip through the show pretty quick tonight. Let's talk about what's coming up the rest of the week. So tomorrow, Quetzal. So Nikki's asking Quetzal. Well, that's what we played. I don't know if somebody's asking a question about it, but yeah, we got to play it last night. So I'm not ready to review it yet. We play a game 3 times before we do any reviews because it's not unusual for us to start playing a game wrong. And I would never want to do a review based on playing something incorrectly. And you see that all the time, just not from us. Anyway, so on tomorrow's show, I am going to take a first look at Unfair, which is from Good Games Publishing. Just reviewed Funfair, which we actually played again last night. So I already reviewed it, but we've enjoyed it so much, and it's pretty fast. It zips out pretty quickly. So we played that, and I like it. Unfair is supposed to be a bit meatier and have a bit more to it. And of course, there's Take That in it as well, because you're trying to screw the other theme park owners. So we're going to take a look at the core game. We're also going to take a look at the expansion. It's the Aliens B-movie dinosaurs. I know, unfortunately, they're not undead dinosaurs, but they are dinosaurs. And Western themes are in this. So that's on tomorrow's show. Wednesday is War Game Wednesday. So we are going to unbox and take a first look at Bayonets and Tomahawks from GMT Games. This is looking pretty sweet, looking very cool. And it's got a lower complexity too. So I always like to see that because I'm always looking for ways to turn people on to conflict simulations. And if they are not just insanely difficult and they aren't just the traditional looking shit and counter and hex looking war games from the 70s, I'm always very excited about that. And that's what this looks like as well. So Indigo Dragon's rocking out. Good to have you visit. Thanks for swinging by to join us. Hope we see you once again in chat. And then on Thursday, I like doing role-playing games on Thursdays. We're going to unbox and take a look at the Great Rift from Mongoose Publishing. This is for Travelers, 2nd edition. And I'm going to tell you right now, I can guarantee you this box is jam-packed with goodness. You may remember I did a review of the starter set for Travelers 2nd edition. Loved it. Thought it was excellent. And it was just jam-packed. The thing I found incredible about the starter set was it essentially took the core rule book, broke it into 2 books, but it was everything you needed. It was not something that was pared down or, well, it's a starter set. Like we see a lot of times starter sets don't give you rules to create characters and things like that. The Traveler box starter set is the core rule book, just broken up into 2 books. So I was very, very impressed by that. So I am looking forward to taking a peek at Traveler, the Great Rift. So a Great A says, does the Great Rift box set weigh as much as the starter? I'm going to take a guess. I think it actually weighs a little more. Not a lot, but a little bit more. So, a Great A says that Worthington 1944 Battle of the Bulge game looks great. Yes, I know. I've got it. Did we do an unboxing of that? I'm taking a peek. Because I know I've got 3 of the Worthington titles. I thought there was one that I hadn't unboxed yet. That might have been the one that I have not. Oh, no, we did 1944. So, yeah, 1944 is out there. Have not had an opportunity to play that yet. Still, most of my family, and I should say most of the gang, still have not received their vaccinations. I've had both of mine, so, but we are still not getting together as regularly to play or with as many people to play as we normally would. All right. So anything else going on in chat there, gang? Before I call it an evening. So a Great A says that the Great Rift is $61. If I remember right, the starter set, the box Traveler starter set is $75, which I know a lot of people freaked out about. Like $75 for a starter set for a role-playing game? But that box is packed full of stuff. You get an adventure, you get the core rule book, and I think, well, broken into 2 books. And I could have swore I thought the core book alone is $60 for Traveler. I might be wrong. But also got some AEG stuff today in the mail. So we will be taking a look at the 2 expansions to War Chest, as well as the first expansion to Eco. So we will be taking a look at that. I left them upstairs. I didn't bring them down into the Duct Tape Studios just yet. All right. So Melwinius says that COVID wrecked their gaming group, or the restrictions actually did. So Great A says they're waiting to see someone put up a playthrough of Atlantic Chase. I've been reading through the rule book. I got to be honest, it's not as intuitive as I would have expected. It's presented differently. And I mean, I'm not saying that it's necessarily bad, but it is a different presentation for the rules than I'm used to seeing. But then again, if you watch the unboxing that I did on last week's show, you'll know, no, I should say that was 2 weeks ago, because last week we did Symborum, right? If you remember it's nice glossy look to the pages and things like that. It was a pretty premium presentation for the rules, but they're just presented strangely. I'll talk about that when I get around to doing a review. I was going to try to get a game in this weekend, and then there was all just, and of course we had the holiday yesterday and stuff like that. So I'm going to check it out. Definitely working on that, but that's a while out. I got to be very, very honest. Disavowed 92 has arrived and says you can only have so many bulge games. Oh, I'm right with you on that. I talk about that all the time. Do we really need another bulge game? Do want to mention next couple of days, I'm going to talk about a couple of American Civil War game Kickstarters that we're going to take a peek at. So there is that. Now, Winia says Atlantic Chase seems like a fine game, although the books look a bit intimidating. Yeah, it's supposed to be a very cool game. I like some of the aspects of it right off the bat. I like where, like on the game board, the map, there's also the area where your fleets will go to battle. I like that being right there on the board. I think that's pretty cool. I like how you actually have your fleets on your little like card, your player aid card for your fleets. I thought it's pretty cool. Pretty nice. All right. Anyway, that's it for this time out. Of course, remember, tomorrow we're going to be looking at Unfair from Good Games Publishing, as well as the Unfair expansion. So we're going to be taking a look at both of these. So hopefully you'll join me for that. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of... Why didn't I just leave this box over here? Why did I put it back behind me? World Fair 1893 from Wehrlegig Games Studios. Cool deal. So I've got some other stuff too. I've got some reviews of some role-playing game stuff, some role-playing game books as well. So stay tuned. All right. Those of you who watch live, thank you so much. I always appreciate anybody tuning in to watch this doofus just pramble on. So always appreciate that. Definitely thank you. And then I know there are a lot of people out there who don't have an opportunity to catch the stream live. Even if you're watching on Memorex, truly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. I will be back tomorrow. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night, Tuesday morning, whatever day it may be that you're watching this. And of course, as I wrap up all my videos during this never-ending pandemic, certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the Gaming Gang channel yet, click right here. If you'd like to see the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, click right up there. And if you want to trust YouTube's algorithm to give you something to watch, click right there. Once again, thanks so much for watching. And everybody, please wear a mask.